Hello traders, it is Wednesday evening, April 17th, and that means it's time for my weekly video. For those of you who are watching this video on YouTube, I post them a week later, which is nice for you because then you're able to go back and check and see how the performance was from the stock picks that I had. If you do like the video, please click the like button, give me a thumbs up. Also, please subscribe to my channel if you like these videos. So I will be posting new videos each week. They'll just be a week delayed. Members get these videos the night of so that they can take action Thursday the next morning. So I like to start with the S&P 500. You can see that the market really hasn't done a whole lot in the last week, and today we had a bearish engulfing pattern, and the last time we had one of those we had a little bit of a sell-off afterwards for a few days, and then the market recovered nicely. So we might see a little bit of selling pressure the next couple of days. The uptrend is still intact, so I'm not overly concerned about it. Going to start with some overlays: 200-day moving average, 100-day moving average. I've got a volume overlay that I like to use. That allows me to compare the current volume to the historic volume. And now we can start taking a look at some of the different stocks. Let me do one little piece of housekeeping. We are watching a video on Option Stalker. I'm going to be showing you not all, I'm going to show you some features within Option Stalker that will help you find trades. That's the beauty of it. You can search for anything. There's some very specific searches that we use, some canned searches we'll look at tonight. That's all you need. If you're a swing trader, 5 or 10 minutes a night, you're going to be able to find a ton of great stocks. Plus, you'll be able to place alerts so that even if the stock isn't attractive right now at the current price, if you see a horizontal breakout that's forming, you drop these GTC alert lines, you log on the next day, and you might have 2 or 3 pop-ups for stocks that are meeting your criteria. So www.oneoption.com, and you can subscribe. It's a quarterly subscription, and there is a 1-week trial. So let's get on with it. I'm going to go into lists, and I'm going to click Wednesday, April 10th. These are the stocks that I highlighted last week. These are all of the stocks. I do not cherry pick. Most of them are going to work out great. Some of them won't, but you'll get to see all of them. CPRI was a stock that we were looking at if it could break through a horizontal resistance level. It never did, so it has yet to trigger. I have not gotten my pop-up yet. GTN, this was last Thursday's price action. Loved it, but when we catch the stock this late after a move, we have to wait for a retracement. I had mentioned to you that I'd like to be able to buy this stock halfway up that candle. Guess what? We just got there today. So this 2374 level looks really good to me. I would use a close below this as your stop, which happens to line up with the opening of this long green bar right here. So let's call that 2322 is your stop out on it. I like it. Love this explosion after earnings. Stock consolidates those gains. Buyers start coming in. They nibble, 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 drive it to a new relative high. Now it's consolidating those gains, and it'll be ready for its next leg higher. So GTN, we're just now taking a position in. VLO actually looked really good. We had this horizontal breakout, and it had not gotten too far out of the gate. So on these horizontal breakouts that are just starting to poke their head through, I like them right here, and I like them right now. You can see that's where we would have entered last Thursday. That's where the stock is right now. It's making money. Like this one. Xilinx, another one. That was last Thursday, just poking its head through this horizontal resistance level right here. Buy it Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This stock is up $4.50 since the video. Let's see if we can find some good ones today. This is a systematic approach. It works really, really well. And I'm going to prove it to you week in and week out. And the beauty of it is Option Stalker finds the stocks for us. It doesn't get any easier. I'm going to overlay an indicator that I like to use. It's 10SI. It helps me visually see relative strength and weakness. And there you can see the relative strength. The orange line is above 0. You'll also notice that the system does have buy and sell signals as well. So another very valuable tool. So let's go into Scanner, and I'm going to click on Bullish since we are bullish. And I'm going to go into Pop Bull. And I'm going to look at the top 10 picks in here, top 10 in the list. Now there are probably some real gems down in here too, but I don't have time for that. I want to show you some other searches. So ERCY, ERIC I should say, choppy, boom, big run on the earnings, nice breakout, not interested, too choppy. Choppy, 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 through the 100-day, nice, needs to get through the 200-day, not there yet. UAL, it's an airline, I hate airline stocks, but it does trend pretty nicely. So I'm going to drop a GTC alert right here. I doubt I'll trade it because I don't like airlines. CSTM, I like this one. I like this one. Place my GTC alert right there, which also happens to coincide with the 200-day moving average. If it can get through there, it's through the 200-day, through horizontal resistance. Nice trend. Trend down, trend up, trend down, trend up. I like that. Nice consistent price movement. We have relative strength and we've got good volume. I think I might have my first pick of the week. CSTM looking real good through that 975 level. Okay, not before. CSX earnings popped up on these big gaps. I don't like to jump right in. I will drop an alert line here, and I'm going to show you how to find these after the fact. So many times after earnings, you get this big gap up and then stock does nothing for 2 or 3 days. It's because it's consolidating the gains. But if you look at it 2 or 3 weeks later, you go, doggone it, that thing skyrocketed. I missed it because it lulled me to sleep for the first 2 days after that gap higher. I wish I would have been on that one. Well, I've got a search. I'm going to show you how to find these stocks after the fact. KSU, really nice compression. Would have loved to have bought it right there because that basically filled in the gap completely. That would have been a great buy. But we're doing this after the close. So we're going to put an alert there. DPZ, filling in the gap here, which is kind of nice, but it's up against a 200-day and then it's got resistance right there. Not crazy about it. This is nice and this is nice. Good relative strength. I like it. I mean, I like everything about it here. It's going to hit resistance right there, and it's been choppy in the past. This choppy previous price action might keep me out of it, but it's interesting. I like that. I like this one a lot. There's your horizontal breakout right there. Oh yeah, this one's going to make the list. So now we got 2 of them already. XPO, CSTM. My goal is to find 2 or 3 stocks. TXT before the open touches 200-day, moves all the way back, doesn't even hold that horizontal breakout. Really not of interest. That's a nice compression. That's a nice breakout. Pulls all the way back though. Yeah, fairly choppy. Not overly interested. You can see I had some other markers out on this when the stock broke out. I didn't want to buy it up there. I was hoping for a pullback. Never got one. Sometimes that happens. We'll make this the last one. Goldman Sachs. I like it if it can get through this 200-day right here. That's a nice longer term compression. There's your earnings. You can get through that. It's got room to run. So this is Pop Bull. Everybody gets this search. It's a canned search. It's one of my favorites for swing trades. I've got a ton of criteria built into this search. That's why when I click through these charts, you go, oh, nice, 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 nice. Well, that's because I've gone in and found all the characteristics that make a stock attractive. When you get these horizontal compressions like this over a longer period of time, it's like a coiled spring. When you finally get through that horizontal resistance, it releases, and that stock has momentum, sustained momentum, for another week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So even in a sideways market, individual stocks with these breakouts have the sustained moves that we like. If you're an option buyer, you have to have follow through. It's not enough to just get the stock on your radar. You need the boom, boom, boom afterwards. Otherwise, you're going to be exposed to time decay. So you need that follow through. All right, so let's click on custom search. And earnings season is just starting to crank up. So we are going to be using all sorts of earnings searches when we day trade. Looking forward to it. This is one of my favorite times of the quarter. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark option liquidity. We have a way of gauging option liquidity. I like liquid options. I'm going to look for previous earnings announcements. Earnings date previous. Remember how I told you that stocks sometimes flounder around after the number and eventually they start to move? We want to take a look at stocks that are on the move. Liquid options, they announced earnings from April 1st to April 16th. So let's see what we get. There are not too many of them, so we don't have a lot of candidates to click through, but this is when we can find some of those stocks that lulled us asleep for a few days and then decided to take off. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the symbol and then we'll look at the chart. That's nice. Compression, breaking out. Financials actually have been doing well. We'll put it right on the high. And that looks like a decent candidate. Don't like it. Oh, that's nice. 200-day moving average, through horizontal resistance, earnings before the open, follow through. Yes, C is a nice stock. Not too bad. Got to get up through here. Good relative strength, good volume, earnings before the open. I'm not going to put it on my list, but yeah, if it can get through here, that would be nice. Decent trender. Okay. Yeah, nice looking stock. No problem there. Put the alert up. DAL, that's a airline. I told you already with UAL, I'm just not a big airline fan. GS we've already looked at. Got our alert there. INFY. This is interesting. Got earnings here. Gap down. Stock weak relative to the market. See how it's below zero? Good volume. This stock could continue lower. I always like to have a short in my back pocket. So when it drops below this line here, it will have breached the 100-day moving average after earnings with follow through and relative weakness and heavy volume. Major horizontal support being breached. Yeah, I like it. So if the market does continue lower the next couple of days, INFY could be a short that I'm going to consider. In fact, I will put it on my short list, and if the SPY is pulling back, that will be a stock that I will take a position in if it breaks this horizontal support. So I will put this on the list. Excuse me. J&J, easy. Compression, earnings, get me through that horizontal resistance and I'll consider you. I'll log in one day and there it'll be right on my computer screen. Beautiful horizontal breakout, earnings gap there, consolidates for a couple days. Today, boom, gone. Yep, like it. I would take a position in JPM. RAD, earnings, that bounced today, that's good. This stock starts to fill in this gap, that could be a good one. I'm going to put, I don't know where, right there. So out of the ones that we took a look at that had announced earnings in the last couple of weeks, the one that really stuck out for me, WFC, we got to take a look at that. There's nothing going on there. The ones that I really liked, I thought that BAC looked really good. Notice they're all bank stocks. C looks good, Citigroup. And GS we've got our alert for, JPM. JPM looks really good too. Like that horizontal breakout there. Stock has a tendency to trend pretty nicely. So now it's between JPM and C. I'm going to go with JPM because I know that those options are very, very liquid. So that was using a earnings date previous search. Imagine how many stocks are going to be coming up in the course of the next 2 weeks as they release earnings. This search will allow you to go back and find them, and then you can add other criteria. Show me those that have heavy volume. Show me those that have strength versus the S&P 500. Show me those that are on a buy signal. These are just some of the other criteria that you can add to narrow your list to get to the strongest of the strong. And I'll probably be doing searches of that nature when I do my video next Wednesday. So let's do another search. Earnings date projected. Oh, that's kind of cool. So who's going to be announcing earnings in the next 2 weeks? I'm going out. Let's go to the 3rd of May. And then I'm going to click a very important box here, pre-earnings bull. These stocks have rallied 2 weeks ahead of earnings into the earnings number 75% of the time or more over the last 3 years. That's 12 quarters worth of data. So we know that these stocks are announcing in the next 2 weeks and they have a tendency to move higher into the number. Wouldn't that be a great search to run? We have it in Option Stalker. So let's see what we can find. We've got quite a list here. A lot of them like to rally into the number. So we can narrow this list. What if we looked for stocks that had good relative strength? Let's start with that. That narrows the list considerably. And let's take a look at a stock that is on a buy signal. We've narrowed the list even more. I'm going to take out April 17th and I'm going to move this date up because this would only give us a couple days to trade. Let's go to at least Monday. Got to be able to hold the trade for a few days. Now we have enough stocks to click through here. I'm going to increase the option liquidity parameter. Let's make sure they have really liquid options. We'll focus on the best of the best. Let's see what we got. See if we can find one. Too choppy, Caterpillar. FCX, not bad. But also a really choppy stock. This has nice trends to it, but it's got to get through that 200-day moving average. Intel, I know a couple of weeks ago I highlighted this one, and it was right in this range in here. You can go back, check my videos from the last 2 weeks. I know I used this exact same search to find Intel. And if you'd have bought that here at the 55.50 range, these options are super liquid, trading penny increments. You'd be really, really happy right about now. Oh yeah. I like stocks that are that follow this pattern and that have been moving higher but still have some upside. And one of the things that you can do if you're an option trader is it's nice to sell premium. Sell put premium. You want to make sure that expiration date is before the earnings announcement because you want to have those options expire worthless. But this would be a great place to sell options, maybe that $47 strike right there, because you want that stock to hold the 100-day moving average. Certainly looks like it wants to. It's poking above the zero line for relative strength, and the volume's pretty decent. I like this stock heading into the number. Coca-Cola just made the list. I'm keeping mental notes of the stocks that I've highlighted so far. Microsoft, nice. I think you could feel pretty confident about selling puts on almost all of these stocks, but Coca-Cola is the one. So we've got our marching orders here. We've got a ton of stocks that I highlighted. I'm going to go into lists. I'm going to click create. I'm going to label this Wednesday, April 17. And then we're going to put down KO, JPM, CSTM, I know is another one that we liked. And I'm trying to think of what else I had. I'm going to save and close because I've got to go back to my Pop Bull search. I know I had another one I really liked in there. There was CSTM, XPO. That was the other one I really liked. Okay, let's go back into lists. Go in here. Add that. Those are our 4 stocks for the week. But I also had INFY, I believe, the short we were looking at. Yes, it was. I'm going to put it in here just in case the market does pull back. This will be the short that I've highlighted so far this week. That's how we do it. If I weren't explaining this all to you, I just click, click, click. I'd be through this in 5 minutes. Wouldn't take me long. These searches are so easy to configure because it's all binary. You have to choose what time frame you want to use. So in our case, if you're a swing trader, you'd be using H2, H4, D1. Those would be your primary criteria. And option liquidity, you've got the earnings projected date, you've got the pre-earnings bull, or you can simply be going back to take a look at stocks that have already announced earnings. So that's what I'm going to be doing over the course of the next 2 or 3 weeks. Some of these other searches we'll go into at a later date, but right now I think you've got plenty of opportunities to look at. Excuse me. I'm going to show you a couple of other features in the platform. If you're a day trader, actually let me bring this back up over here. I'm going to go into scanner and I'm going to show you under searches there's a search called bullish explosion. You may say bullish explosion, what the heck? Well, this is alerting us to day trading opportunities, and it had a bearish explosion today as well. So these alerts, they pop up right on the computer screen. In particular, and it came up yesterday, we're looking for these horizontal support breaches. When the stock came through the 200-day moving average and it broke horizontal support, that was a huge tradable event. And so these alerts pop up during the course of the day. I'm going to go back to yesterday. Yes, we had the alert early today too on bearish explosion. And we certainly had it yesterday. So really nice. And then you can use the trade signals to keep you in and out of the trade. And a really easy tool to use is when you get a red arrow and you have the stock with relative weakness, line is below the zero, this relative strength line is below zero, indicating relative weakness, you know you've got a decent trade on. So right there, you had a really nice move in there. You had a great move out of the open off of that bearish explosion alert. But now I'm going to show you the one that really made a lot of money for Option Stalker subscribers yesterday. Made a killing on this one. Qualcomm. This is when we learned about it right here. Not a minute later, because we started to get all of the volume spike information in on the system. It had a horizontal breakout, and that was at about the $64 level. I know I made about $6 on this yesterday, and I was in and out. I made a ton of money. I'm like, that's good enough for me. But we had a number of people that hung on to that overnight, and so the stock went from $65 to $81. If you're an option trader, this made a lot of people's year yesterday. And here is the daily chart. You can see when it had this horizontal breakout here and we were through the 200-day moving average instantly, like I say, it was a no-brainer. So these are day trading alerts that come up, these bullish and bearish explosions. But if you're a day trader, I urge you, make sure that when the alert comes up that you're watching for these horizontal breakouts. Those are big, those are meaningful. And we're able to slice every 5 minutes of the entire market day so that we know, I know right here, that bar right there, I know what the average 20-day volume is for that bar right there. So if there's a spike on a 5-minute basis, I know about it. And you know about it. And you can search for it. We have that in the search engine. How nice is that? So let's take a look at the S&P 500. I'm going to show you a tool that I use to trade the S&P 500 E-mini futures, and I'm going to take off all of the distractions. I can even take off volume. I'll right click, remove studies, volume. Okay. See this little 10p indicator right here in the bottom? That's all I use to trade the futures. If you day trade E-minis, look no further. I've spent 10 years on this indicator. It's all I need. It's that good. So before you start thinking, oh, this is just a fluke, you had a lucky day, you had a good day, I'm going to go back to the beginning of the week. And it's not been a great week for day trading. I got to tell you, it's been very, very compressed ranges like this through most of the day, and it's been tough. But if an indicator can help you make money in these conditions, imagine what it's going to do when the market starts to move and have some follow through. So when it crosses over, you go bearish. Red line crosses over, bearish. Red line crosses over, bullish. Red line crosses over, bearish. Red line crosses over, bullish. Catch almost that whole move. Now you're getting a little bit bearish. The other thing I want to point out is this is not a lagging indicator like 99.9% of the indicators are. This is a forward looking indicator. When it rolls over and the market's still going higher, it tells you you better start taking profits because this thing is deteriorating, and you better start thinking about getting short. So right here catches the meat of that move. Right here, look, it's market's still going down. It's telling you, hey, there's a buy coming. There's a buy coming. You wait, 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 wait. Oh, here we got a nice green bar here. Oh, we get above that opening price from that red bar. Yeah, make a few points. Okay, now we cross over again. There's a nice little drop. Oh, starting to get ready to cross over in here. Look at that. Right in here. Market's still going up. It's saying, wait a minute, look out. There's your little dip. Take profits up in here. There's your buy. Kind of flat lines in here, but it's signaling, oh, a little bit of trouble here. You get a little bit of a dip. I mean, it's showing you this before the move happens. That's why it's the only indicator I need to use. I'm going to go to the next day. Here you've got it moving higher, but the market's moving lower. So you would do nothing here. Just wait. You'd be waiting to buy, but it hasn't shown you any signs of moving higher, so you just wait. Oh, there you get a crossover on the downside right here. Okay, you catch a nice little move lower. Now it says to buy. You don't make money, you don't lose money because the market's just dead flat. I think it's like a 2-point range for 3 hours. But you get a little bit of a move here, up there, and now he's got this nice little fall here. See? Gets long right in there. Probably don't make a whole lot of money getting long in there, but there's a nice little cross right there. When did it happen? Way before the move. Right there it's saying, hey, look out, you might want to get short. Boom. Look out. Get a move like that, you should be taking profits on it, especially when you've got tight compressions like this all day. Today, big sell-off, short the whole way. Right there it says get long, right about there. So you're long, you scratch, you don't make any money on that. Get short, that was a nice little move. It says get long. All right, get long, right in here. Okay, right there, right there. Okay, you lost a little bit of money on that because you're long right in up until that point right there. You get a little bit of a dip. But this is the nice move right here that you catch later in the day. Start drifting down, and then you get a really nice closing rally in here. This is a fairly quiet day as well. That's how the indicator works. It's so awesome. It shows you when there's trouble coming. It gets into the move ahead of time. It's showing you, okay, I know I've got this crossover coming here. You start getting in ahead of time. Wait for that technical breakdown, but you're ready for it. So it's not something that blindsides you. It's a great indicator. We use it in the chat room constantly. And if you day trade S&P E-minis, the best tool you'll ever find. We just need the market to cooperate a little bit. Right now, this is not a good S&P day trading environment when you've got doji after doji in compressed intraday ranges. Hopefully, this bearish engulfing pattern will turn into something a little bit more tomorrow. We'll have a little follow-through selling that always gets some volatility back in the market. We've got earnings announcements coming out. All of those things should help next week. So I'm expecting some action to come back into the market. We're going to be doing a ton of earnings searches, post-earnings, pre-earnings, and we're going to also take a look at Pop Bull and see what that's flagging. You've got 4 really nice picks this week and a potential short if the market does start to sell off the next couple days. But I'd be very careful with shorts. Get in, take your profits, get out. You don't want to be trading against the longer term uptrend in the market right now. Thanks so much, everyone. Again, if you're watching this video on YouTube, please like it, please subscribe. I'll see you next Wednesday.